the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Big episode. A big episode where I need to be a little bit honest, Ryan James. I've failed as a parent again. So much so I've been contacted by the school. And they've suggested that what I've done is completely inappropriate. That's okay. The kids will get by and I won't pay the school fees.
Well, you know what, I mean, what you thought you ordered a Batman costume, but unfortunately what arrived was more for the parties that Tom goes to on a Saturday night, if you know what I mean.
But when you're dropping the kids off and they say, I want you to be Batman, I want you to be Batman, I did not know that the bum cheeks were cut out.
Unfortunately, I should not have dressed as Throbbing, and I understand that was the wrong thing to
Batman
do.
and Throbbing.
How much damage does the paddle do in those parties, Tom? Do they
I mean, I often say
bruised.
not enough. I'm sort of, show us the damage. That's sort of what
last heard screaming for more.
Yeah. So my safe word is damage, which is, it's confusing.
A few days to get over those parties, Tom, or the body recovers pretty quickly?
Yeah, look, I think in my older age I don't bounce back as well as I should, which is also a problem during the party. Look, I'm
It's weird that you prefer the swing now instead of the tramp.
Yeah, swinging is my New Year's resolution. And so far I've stuck to it.
Who is this guy called Tyrone that's in the studio with you? Is he one of your best friends?
We move on. You'll hear more about Batman and where I've failed on the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Big day yesterday with the Grammys, Ryan James.
It was massive. And you know what? I must admit, it was one of the best Grammys that I've watched for a very long time. Congratulations, Sabrina Carpenter won her first. Charlie XCX won her first Grammy as well. We spoke about this yesterday. Actually, did anyone see Sabrina Carpenter's performance? Unbelievable.
No.
She's a freak. She started the performance like this.
Yeah. So sort of big band.
She was dressed up in a tuxedo. It was very humorous, actually. Then she ripped off the tuxedo and went into her normal outfit.
Oh.
She was on fire.
Is that awkward that Benson Boone did the same thing? Did you see his performance?
He loves getting his top off the Boone.
Well, he was in a tux, Fitz, and then he stops, and I think he's got Heidi Klum to one side and somebody else, and then they both grab his tuxedo and rip it off.
Yeah.
Man, he is a huge front man. He then runs on stage, gets up on the piano, flips off the piano, and lands a triple flip with Pike and breaks into the chorus. And I was like, Booney is on here.
He's on fire. We were talking about this yesterday on the show, but we were saying if Kendrick Lamar wins a Grammy for his diss track, his Drake diss track, and Drake is in Australia at the moment, Not Like Us, that will be massive.
Fuzzy Dare People.
What a song. What a song. Well, can I tell you this? Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys for that one song.
You're kidding me.
5 Grammys. So he won for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Music Video.
Cleaned up.
For one song. Now, this song is about dissing Drake. And Drake's actually suing his record company at the moment, because his record company was the one that brought it out. So Kendrick brought it out on the same record label.
That's an interesting in-house meeting to have.
And it's basically saying, in the lyrics, it's basically saying, these are some of the lyrics. Say, Drake, I hear you like 'em young. You better not ever go to cell block 1.
Oh.
And there's stuff in there as well. Okay, there's another line that says, are you trolling? Aren't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. And it's about Drake hooking up with younger girls, right?
Oh.
Now, have a listen. When Kendrick won Song of the Year, it was unbelievable. Like, this is, he's getting up. Have a listen to everyone at the Grammys yell out that A minor bit. It's huge. Have a listen to this.
I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? You tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
That's everyone at the Grammys dissing Drake as he wins
Is there a
Song
reason?
of the Year.
I mean, the Grammys are on, and Drake's not even in the country.
No.
Maybe he knew. Maybe they said, mate, don't turn up. It's not your night.
Mate, Drake's dad was there and was asked about it afterwards. Have a listen to this.
Now, gotta ask, what do you think about Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, getting Record of the Year?
I don't care nothing about that.
And why was he there and Drake's dad? I mean, why was Drake's dad there and he wasn't there?
I've got no idea. And then, because Kendrick didn't mention Drake at all when he got up and accepted all these awards, and everyone's going, well, that's a good effort by him. But he actually said, how's this? Someone picked this out. Kendrick Lamar was wearing all denim, right?
Yeah.
All denim. He had a denim top, denim pants. He actually had a denim hat as well.
Cool.
That is known as a Canadian tuxedo. When you wear triple denim, it's known as a Canadian tuxedo.
I thought it was just
Drake's.
Oh.
Okay.
Gotcha. He's gone all in, hasn't he?
Drake is Canadian.
Yeah.
He's
gone all in.
What a day for Kendrick.
Who was the kid that wore the, like he had a temple built on his head?
Oh, yeah.
That was
Will
John
was one of the Smiths.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith, was it? Well, like the Taj
I'm-
Mahal on his head.
I don't get Jaden Smith at all.
Is Jaden Smith, can I ask, is Jaden Smith the one in the remake of Karate Kid?
Yes,
Because that is awesome.
No, it's
like
not,
he
mate.
didn't have the Taj on his head at that stage, but that is
it's
a
not.
great film with Jackie Chan.
It is not. Don't even
Mate,
compare it to Daniel LaRusso, the original.
It's a great
mate.
film.
It's not, mate.
And you know
It's
the
not.
wax on, wax off? They have their own version where he says, take your jacket off, hang the jacket up. Take
Okay,
the
mate.
jacket-
We're not talking. We are not talking
Karate
about
Kid.
that.
Anyone mentioned the Karate Kid at the
Congratulations to Beyonce for winning Album
Yep.
of the Year finally. Now, can I just say this? I find it really tough that, look, fair enough, Beyonce is an amazing performer. She's won the most Grammys. She's never won Album of the Year. And then this time last year, Jay-Z got up and accepted it was like a Legend Award,
Yeah,
Hall of
yeah.
Fame award. And he said this last year at the Grammys.
I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. Think about that. The most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work.
And then a year later, she wins Album of the Year for her country.
Do you know what, mate? That's
I
like
just
you.
don't-
That's like your dad being the coach and you winning the coach's award. Do you know what I mean? That's like
It
a
is.
gimme. That's like a. Oh man,
You're actually
the boss,
correct.
The boss has spoken.
It is like you winning Coach's Award and your dad's the coach.
I'd just be a little bit. I wish you hadn't said anything. Wish you hadn't spoken to the bosses.
Look, don't get me wrong, but is Cowboy Carter Beyonce's best ever album?
It's the best question you've asked this year so far. I'm going to think about that till 9. I'm not
That's
gonna
a
talk.
big one. Sit on that, everyone.
Yeah, sit on that.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Chrissy's clickbait. Speaking of the Grammys, the best part of any awards ceremony, I think, is the day after when all the bits and bobs come out.
Oh, the detail, the inside
Yes.
scoop. Yeah.
Yes,
Afters.
we didn't talk about it yesterday because it hadn't happened yet, of course. But what's your take on bloody Kanye and Bianca? Bianca turning
Well,
up fully naked.
I'm surprised you've gone for who wore it best this morning. I mean, it's quite confronting. I've never seen you like that.
Thank you so much for noticing, because we've been together for at least 25 minutes and 30 seconds, and you have not noticed my enormous jugs out with a fine sheath of gauze only.
My vote's
Can
with
I-
you, Swatty.
Can I say that it was quite... That's embarrassing that you've rocked up to do... Imagine rocking up to the Logies just to do the red carpet and then going home. It's quite embarrassing.
It feels like you have a pet. That's what I don't like about it. But I don't see the inside word of whether she's happy to do this, but it feels like he's the puppet master and she kind of just goes along. But I'm sure she has a say in it. But it just seems a bit odd.
It does seem odd, doesn't it?
and we've
However,
seen
having
it.
said that, I'm going to steal that look at next year's Logies if I'm invited, which I wasn't last year. Now, speaking of very famous friendships and relationships, Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter. Now, they've been friends for years.
Yep.
Of course, they're two country gals at heart. And Sabrina actually supported Taylor Swift when Taylor Swift brought her life-changing Eras tour to this very country. There was, of course, bad blood reports, which happens when any women know each other. This is the second example of this just this week, because Reese Witherspoon and Kate Winslet apparently have bad blood.
Oh,
and,
what?
Reese Witherspoon has come out and said, how ridiculous. I've just spoken to Kate and we've had a good laugh about it.
Okay, that's good.
So what's the bad blood with Sabrina and Taylor, Chrissy? Where's that coming from?
It's been invented because apparently women can't be supportive of each other. What a crock of absolute rubbish. And it turns out that Taylor Swift did the ultimate caring I love you thing, which is, everybody knows, gives her friend a kiss on the forehead. Is there anything more beautiful than a kiss on the forehead?
Is that what your granny used to do? And you'd go, why's granny got stubble? I can feel that on my forehead.
Oh, God. I said goodbye to my sister on Sunday and she goes, listen, I've got to give you a community service announcement here. I've got to do the right thing. I just felt a little spike when you kissed me.
Chin hair.
And maybe you need to put on your Specsavers specs and have a crack.
Put on your Specsavers.
And I did. I said, thank you so much for that.
And grab
You got a bit of a
some
goatee
tweezers.
at the moment, have you, Kate?
Well,
Chrissy?
you know, what happens is one breaks through.
Yeah.
You know, one breaks through. And actually, my daughter Peg has a little kit that she uses, a fabulous pair of manicure tweezers and a magnifying mirror.
You can see it all,
And we sit on the couch. She's normally my canary. She normally goes, Mum, I'm going to get the kit, sit on the couch. But we must have missed one, and it spiked my sister, so apologies.
No, I got you, mate.
And then she kissed me on the head, and I knew everything was going to be all right. Now, moving on to the red carpet. Again, the best part of any ceremony, I think, is what happens afterwards and what happens before. Am I right?
Yeah. What have you got?
Am I right? So, on the red carpet, there are desperately hungry reporters wanting to speak to anyone that will stop. And who stopped was a guy called Babyface. And if you're of a certain age, you will remember that name being bandied about with the likes of Madonna. And, I mean, I'll never forget his role on this track by Tony Braxton.
Oh, was that Babyface?
Yeah.
Sort of
it is
dying in the background.
Honestly, it is so cheesy. He could have charged $39.99 a kilo at the deli. It is oozing with fromage.
And
all of the lyrics.
So Babyface still gets an invite to the Grammys?
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, what does it
And
take?
you didn't get one of the Logies, mate.
Exactly. You write one song for Madonna and Tony Braxton and bang! There you go. Anyway, have a listen to the audio when the reporters go, yeah, all right, I'll talk to you. There's no one better around. And then they spot the great Chapel Roan.
Okay.
Can you talk about this new trend that we're seeing in R&B where we're seeing more of a fusion? We're seeing people blend the genre with pop, blend the genre with hip-hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think...
Chapel!
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry.
Oh!
Hello! How's it going, Chapel?
Oh, my God!
Oh. I was so interested to see him blending of the genres.
Oh, were you? The reporter wasn't. Absolutely not.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Kids back at school, well done, everybody. I know that some are slowly still going back. I think, Tommy, your little man Hugo went yesterday.
Thursday for most public schools in Sydney.
So what you're doing right now, if you're a parent, is you're running around and you're trying to make sure the uniform's right, or they got the right shoes, or the sneakers aren't falling apart, and the shoelaces are already broken and then tied back together. You're trying to start the year again. And what I do is I'm in charge of haircuts. Oh. So I said, boys, we're going down to Brian the barber.
Oh, I'm glad you said you're going to a barber. I thought you were doing them at home jobs.
No, not home jobs. But you could do this because all the kids are doing, and I was told by the kids, got to get the low taper fade, man.
Oh,
got to get seriously, man. You got to get the low taper fade.
What is it? Can you give me a little glossary of terms? Because I've got two sons, and they're all over that stuff, and I don't understand.
I saw a kid at the beach on the weekend. He had the lightning bolt cut into his low taper fade, and I went, man,
what?
He's got it, and he's got a big future too.
No, it's sporting stars, Chrissy. It's all the AFL boys, a lot of the NRL boys. Buzz cuts are another big one as well. Lenny, my son, got buzz cuts.
Right.
Got a buzz cut just before school, so that's it just looks like a shaved head. But apparently there is a fade in there.
A buzz cut you could do, in the backyard with a good broom.
The low taper fade, Chrissy, is sort of shaved on the sides with a lot more length on top. But if you want to go,
what about when it looks like they've got that, but then there's like a sleeping ferret down the middle of the back of their head? What
like
is
a Dusty
that one
Martin
called? Yes,
Do you know what?
I quite like that.
I went to the MCG when the Richmond Tigers won a flag, and it would have been close to midnight after the football on that day, and I'm in Richmond near the MCG in Victoria, and there's a barber that's open, and there's a line up round the corner of people wanting to get the Dustin Martin, which is the pointed ferret down the back of the head.
Oh, they should have just a little blackboard out the front, an A-frame saying "Sleeping ferrets, $15 a go."
It is cute when your child goes into the hairdressers with a photo of their favourite sporting star, and says, "This is what I would like," and then they come out of the hairdressers crying their eyes out because they don't look anything like Cristiano Ronaldo.
It doesn't work.
I had the worst haircut of my life in Adelaide when I was 10. I was visiting my dad for the school holidays when he was living there. And he was like, "We're going to go and get you a little freshen up, darling." And I think I ended up in a salon, maybe called Leanne's Cuts and Things. and
things.
And I got off the plane, my solo traveller Ansett, junior Jetta badge flying in the wind.
Awesome.
And my mum was horrified because it looked as if I'd gone into a salon with a picture of the Queen, just the back of a coin.
Oh, you got a perm.
Yeah, but a back of a coin, and I said, "I'll have what she's having, thanks. I like to look like a 75-year-old monarch." And that was that. And that was how I ended up seeing out 1983.
And what a great year it was. Do you know, Swanee, I used to watch the Iron Man on TV, and Grant Kenny would come running out of the water, and I'd be sitting on the floor cross-legged, and I'd say to Mum, "You know what, Mum? I want to look like Grant Kenny when I'm older." Yeah. So I would say to Mum, "Can you get a photo of Grant Kenny and we'll go down to the hairdressers and I want to look
fit
like..."
and tanned, mate.
Yeah, I know he was. But then I went to a wedding last year and Grant Kenny was there. And I went, "Oh, my God, it's my childhood hero." I went up.
He's bald now, isn't he?
Went up to Grant and said,
he is.
"Did you know I told my mum when I grew up I wanted to look like you?" And he said, "I bet you bloody don't want to now." Don't put yourself down, Grant Kenny.
Do you remember Just Cuts? And Just Cuts, amazing hairdressers. Remember you walk into Just Cuts and it was a cheap haircut. Do you remember when Grant Denyer was the face of Just Cuts?
Was he?
No.
And so there would be life-size stickers of Grant Denyer in Just Cuts, and it was like when you got
they were on a postage stamp.
But then when you walked out of there, it was Grant Denyer looking at you, sort of laughing at you with the haircut that you just got from Just Cuts. It was the worst feeling.
Just to be laughed at by a small man. That's not fair. We love you, Grant.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about this viral video, Fitz, that's getting around. It was in the paper today, but this guy, Presley Janowski, is 23. This happened last year, but he climbed into the fuselage part of a jet engine, a commercial jet engine on the tarmac at the airport. So if you see the photo, it's him standing inside the engine with the blades spinning behind him.
Is the engine going?
I don't believe the engine is going, but naturally, as the wind blows through an engine, the blades will spin anyway. He's off to court, I think, because there's zero tolerance for this sort of unsafe behaviour at an airfield. So, but I believe he'd been on a flight. He then got off the flight, somehow managed to get into the jet's engine on the tarmac. He then... It says here, fell to all fours, pumped out several push-ups, flexed his biceps for the camera as the plane's propellers whirled behind him. He then, when questioned about how stupid this was, he said, "I just wanted people to have a laugh about it."
Oh, he's done a couple of push-ups.
Yeah, he's done a couple of push-ups. I wanted people to have a bit of a laugh at it. It's like I've got to get off a plane, but the first thing I need to do is do a workout. You know when you just need to do a workout?
See, airports, they do freak you out a little bit, don't they? Yeah, I mean, you've got to walk within the lines, you know, and people, there's a fair bit going on. I mean, there's gates everywhere, there's security everywhere.
You're right,
I
don't know how he got out there.
Yeah, it's a good effort to jump into a jet engine. I mean, the pilot just should have fired up the engine again and just seen how we went.
Hey, guys, I know how we clear this. Watch this. See you later, Presley. Flight attendants and pilots always sit in the engines, he said. Yeah. It's just because they're taking photos and then the wind turbines look stable. It's very common for people to sit inside a jet engine.
Yeah. I've thought
Put your
about
hand
doing
up
that.
if you've sat inside a jet engine.
I thought about jumping into the jet engine a couple of times when I was on a Tiger flight, but
really,
that was mid-flight as well. Unfortunately,
I reckon a couple of times I've sat next to you. You've tried to push me into the engine.
Do you remember the days of? Do you remember when Jetstar you had to line up for your seat and first in got the best seats on the plane?
Oh.
That was a disaster, man.
No designated seats. Someone flying on Friday would turn up on Wednesday just so they could get a good seat.
It's like the SCG members, rocking up to the first day of the Ashes and the stampede that you get to get the exit row seats or the best seats at the SCG.
It's like it's like a Boxing Day sale where people will be at the doors of Maya and they'll finally open them and people will race through to get 30% off. People fall over and trip. There's a stampede because, I don't know, Fisher and Paykel have got 30% off a washing machine.
Do they?
I don't know, mate. I wasn't there.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
I didn't actually line up. I was doing a workout in one of the jet engines at the mascot gym there on the tarmac. Good on you, mate. See you in court.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
The kids are back at school, which is great news.
Yes. Hey, where's Alice Cooper when you need him?
Yeah, how good is he? Do you know the best thing about the kids being back at school is
everything?
The gossip that you get around.
Mate, this is what makes me nervous because a lot of the kids go back this Thursday, and I reckon all the mums and the chat groups are sitting back going, there is a beautiful calm before this mad storm that's about to hit.
Well, this is the thing. At the end of the year, you're over school drop-off and pick-up. I mean, you know all the goss. You know what's going on. You know the single mums that are looking for new relationships with the young teachers at the school and all this kind of stuff. You've heard it all before. You're sick of it, right? You want to go on holidays, but when you're back, you're actually looking forward to hearing about the goss and what's been happening around the school.
Have you got some goss, have you?
Oh, man, have I got some goss or not?
Really?
So school pick-up the other day, I was talking and I was asking about a certain family because I didn't see them. I wanted to catch up with the dad. It was a football-related question I needed to ask, and I asked one of the mums, have you seen him? And they said, oh, no, haven't you heard? They've left the school. The family's left the school.
Oh.
And I said, why is that? Mum got caught vaping in the kids' toilets at the Christmas carols.
What an iconic sentence.
If there's two things I want to tell you. Don't sing too loud and don't vape in the toilets.
Hey, is that really that bad? My God, is that a dismissible offence? Jeez.
Well, do you know, as a parent, you can be expelled from a school.
Can I add to it? She was in the cubicle and there were kids in the toilet. So there were young girls. There were other young girls. They were just at the sink, but she was in the cubicle hiding on her pineapple bubblegum flavoured vape. And one of the teachers came in to tell the girls, "You're up next for the Christmas carols," and knocked on the door. And there's mum in there vaping.
Wow, is it just me, or I don't think that's that bad. Is it that bad?
Well, I mean, if you're trying to set an example at a kids' school Christmas fair, it's probably not the. It's
but what's the example that you're a human being?
Well, you can't get expelled as a family, but they were highly embarrassed about it, and they were thinking about moving anyway, and they've just. packed up and gone to another school.
I hope that in the entrance interview they said, look, we just want to know are the fees direct debit? How important is the tie and blazer? And also, am I allowed to vape in the toilets? We've just got to cover all this off.
13 24 10. Did you get into trouble at your child's school? Here's another one for you. At the end of last year, a mate sent this through, but his son's high school. These parent WhatsApp groups are just getting out of control now. Yeah. So the year finished at the end of last year, and there was one mum who wanted answers. This is in the holidays. We're talking the Christmas holidays. Wanting answers for 2025 and where do we get this and what do we do that? And one of the other parents has completely lost the plot and said, have a rest. We're in the holidays.
Oh, good.
And then another family has gone, that person for blowing up.
Oh,
the
man.
WhatsApp group has blown up and the school has had to get involved and shut down the WhatsApp group for 2025. It's done and dusted.
Here's the one that we had on the chat the other day. What's Francesca? She's in kindergarten. Is she in kindergarten or prep, Tom?
She's in kindergarten.
Kindergarten, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's in kindergarten. Someone on the chat wrote, is it a concern that my daughter can't spell their name yet? I don't know. I mean, is it the school's issue, or is it your daughter's issue, or is it the parents' issue? Shouldn't they be able to spell their name by now? My daughter can't. It's not my issue. It's not the group's issue.
That is a valid question, and that would be the school's issue. And also, maybe it's time to call in some help.
If you need to.
I got in trouble, not on WhatsApp, because I'm what do they call it? You're a lurker, not a feeder. I'm a reader, not a feeder.
Yeah, I like that.
I can't wade into it. No. But I owe every single time I send my children with the correct colour for Harmony Day or the streamers, I owe it to those women on the WhatsApp group that seem to know everything. But I did get in trouble once. Actually, I've been in trouble a few times, but the most recent time was I had to leave they call it something else now, but it's essentially sex education forum.
A form, sure.
Because I am really, in my mind and everywhere, I'm 12 years old.
Filthy.
And if someone mentions bosoms or ovaries or periods or erections, I giggle like an absolute idiot. And I have the misfortune of having a daughter at the same school as an old school friend of mine.
Right.
Yeah.
So we always sit together, me and Nat.
No.
And it's just like being back at school.
The naughty kids.
And I had to get up in the middle of this. Everyone is so mature and normal. And I am hunched over, wheezing, bumping into chairs, trying to get out of this place because I am an idiot.
Someone said pubes.
Pubes. Yeah, all of it. Like, oh my God, I cannot be trusted to be a grown-up.
Could we ask the parents to behave, please?
Yes. Okay.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Paige in Rouse Hill, welcome to the show. You got in trouble at school, did you, Paige?
Well, yes, my dad did. We were fresh to start a new high school, year 7, a very small Christian school, who were quite strict, and we had a working day before the year had commenced, and nice hot day. At the end, Dad proceeded to go to the boot of the car and bring out a case of beer for everyone and share it around, in which they don't drink alcohol. So that was a nice start.
Oh, man. End of the day, well, we're going to have a can, aren't we? We're going to have a couple of cans.
And then he kept pushing. It wasn't just the one offer.
Oh, Dad.
I love that. Jeez, isn't it? When you go to a school event, there's always one parent at some stage that will crack open an esky or something. There will be a drink that will come out at some stage.
Do you know what? At my girls, where my sisters went to school, Dad would always, he'd work the hot dog stand at the fair. And you don't reckon he went one hot dog, one glass of wine for me. One hot dog, one glass of wine for me. By the end of it.
See, this is why the St. John's ambulance have just a little pergola, a little shade cloth thing there. Ready to go.
Plastic chair.
Scotch College as well. I'd love to know what's the best wine paired with a hot dog.
Sharon. Sharon, welcome to the show. What did you get in trouble for, Sharon?
I got in trouble for spraying a bottle of champagne over kindergarten kids after our fete. We had a really big fete. We raised about $56,000, and I thought it was a cause for celebration.
Oh, you thought you just won the Grand Prix, did you, Sharon?
However, we had a new principal that wasn't happy with that, and I was a prospective teacher for that school, and let's just say I never got a job there.
Sharon, that's a nanny state. Who doesn't love being showered in champers? Come on.
The kids loved it. Their tongues were all out, and they got sprayed. All the parents loved it.
Oh, my
So
God.
the only job I got there was volunteering after that. Never got a paid job, but everyone still talks about it to this day.
Good on you, Sharon.
Oh, that's great.
What a great story.
Just spraying the kids like they've won Bathurst. It's like, yeah.
It's a shame they didn't get a chance to do a shoey.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
On Fitzy, Whipper and Kate Ritchie's Backyard Cricket Match.
Oh, it's up in the air.
At Kirribilli House.
Oh, my God, this is exciting. The Prime Minister's Backyard Cricket returns for 2025.
The first person that has to pick a team, Ray Gunn, will be at the backyard.
I don't have a lot of experience with cricket, but I think there'll be some great victory dances in there.
It's going to be great, guys. And the good news is you can register, you can be there if you're listening right now, and you want to be at the most amazing day on the calendar for 2025, you can come to Kirribilli with us. It's as simple as that. You need to register at the Nova Player or at novafm.com.au. Ray Gunn, correct. On your team, Fitz. Colin Fasnich, we love that man. Also on Fitzy's team. Whipper's team has Whipper.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love Ray Gunn. I love Colin Fasnich, but I mean, their stats in the cricket area aren't too good.
That is very, very diplomatically put. Well done.
Well, you wanted to call them crap, didn't you?
That is.
Do you know what, Fitz? If you have Ray Gunn and she performs the dance at Kirribilli House, we might forfeit. We might say, no, you win. Head straight to the barbecue. As you know, we always support a couple of charities with this event. So this year we are raising money for Batia and also Lifeline. But we're working very hard behind the scenes with some good ideas. There's some coming through, Tommy.
Yeah, we did. We've had a lot of DMs about this, about people wanting to get involved, and particularly one we got yesterday. Tash from Penrith got in touch, and she said, why not you give your players a chance to raise some extra cash?
Oh, this is the boat on the water?
No.
It's a great idea.
Her idea, Tash's idea, is the whip kit. It's a giant... She's suggesting we get a huge cutout of Whipper's face that has a hole where the mouth is.
Oh, gotcha. Well,
Now,
that'd be quite large, yeah.
So anatomically correct.
Yes, exactly, Chrissy. And she says the idea is if anyone can hit the ball through Whipper's mouth, we'll add in an extra $1,000 to the charities involved.
Well, I love this. I'm going to level it up, though. Instead of it being a cutout, I think we should use Whipper's actual face.
Just like knock out some teeth.
Yes.
Tommy, can
Yes.
I just pass me that sheet here?
Yeah.
Who wrote this sheet? Because it says here, if anyone can smash their balls into Whipper's mouth, they will... Like, come on, God. Like,
Yeah,
But
an
it's-
extra
it's-
$1,000.
Can I just...
How good.
the odds of that happening are very slim. We're going to make it more than 1,000, Tom, don't we?
Well-
or do we have sort of like a...
you won't get your balls back.
You know, like the local fair where you throw the baseball and you've got to hit the spot and someone goes into the water. You know, do we have a session where we can throw into the hole?
That's a nice idea.
Oh.
Yeah, as many as we can get into Whip's mouth, I think. Well, it's all for a good cause, Whip.
God, this is... All right,
Yes,
well...
I've seen him eating French fries. He can get a lot of things like the shoving.
Swanee, I've been practicing and warming up on dumplings recently too. And
Have you?
I've been
Since you were 7 years old.
Yeah,
I
taking
like
heaps in the mouth. I'm ready.
You're match fit.
Tommy, so you put a target on my head.
Yeah, is everyone keen for that? Can we accept that as an idea for this
all right,
2025 game?
Well, yeah, he's got to do something
Yeah.
because clearly nobody's going to be on his team.
No,
Yeah, that's
no.
right.
This is exciting, though, because I do hang on to a little bit of hope here. Tomorrow, we're going to be revealing the next celebrity that's going to be joining us. We have a clue, though, if you want to play along.
Ooh.
Have a listen to this. See if you can work out who it is.
This famous Australian will feel right at home on the cricket pitch, as they've already had a few famous runs on the board. As long as they can fit a baggy red over their luscious locks, we think they're a shoey in for a good time.
Couple of big clues there.
I know who it is.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I feel like I'm
not
going in
allowed
the
to
jungle.
guess, am I? I'm always getting in trouble.
Yeah, you're too
Yeah, you
excited.
can't.
I think you
Anyway,
can
I look forward to talking to him tomorrow.
It's a her.
So it's not Shannon Knoll.
If you want to have a crack, I think we've got it up. Fitzy Whipper, Kate Ritchie Instagram page. Go and have a guess who you think that might be, but they'll join us tomorrow on the show.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I want to talk about faking your own disappearance. There's a Reddit thread where a woman. Look, I want to place a caveat on this. I don't understand relationships. No good at them.
That's okay.
You know. And a woman has been so annoyed at her boyfriend coming home late and not telling her where he is that she's decided, what can I do about this? I could bring it up like a normal person. I could have a chat with him, but I'm going to fake a disappearance just to see what happens.
Big
so instead of chucking him a text or saying over dinner, hey, I've got a bit of a problem here, she has created a sleeping nook under her desk where she secreted herself until he came home, and then she watched with glee as he searched the entire house looking for her, while she chuckled like a naughty Enid Blyton character from underneath her desk.
It's a dangerous experiment, Chrissy, because this is the thing. You might not want to know what the truth is when he's not panicking after a certain amount of time and not worried about your disappearance.
That's true.
Imagine if she was watching him and he came home and she saw him opening cupboards and whatever, and then he did what our beautiful listener did earlier on in the show and just opened up a big bottle of champagne and sprayed it all over the kitchen. I just want to talk, though, a little bit about disappearing because it can be an excellent thing. And I have what I call a disappear day, and I'm going to give you this gift.
How does it work?
You basically kidnap yourself.
Oh, okay.
So occasionally when I'm feeling like the world is on top of me.
I've got me.
And it happens sometimes, I think particularly to women, and it's no judgment on your gender, but it seems like we've got a little bit more going on in terms of the mental load. And I don't have a wife to take to
Take it
go.
out on.
Yeah, well, no, to hide from. No, I don't have a wife to go, oh my God, I'm so snowed under at work.
Yeah, can you help me?
Can you? Yeah. So it's all on me, and sometimes that gets a bit much. So when I feel that, I go, oh, time to bundle myself into the back of a van. And what I do is I
book
put
an Uber and then you
Yeah.
just throw yourself in the back, do you?
Yeah, I get a rug that my grandma knitted me, and I throw it over myself, and then I wrap a string around it, and I drag myself into my bedroom, and I turn my phone off, and I don't tell anyone where I am, and I don't answer the phone. And the important thing is that you don't tell anyone where you are.
Of course.
You disappear, and
Yes,
you
not bad.
must not respond to texts or check emails, and the whole world opens up to you.
Yeah, how does it feel?
Yeah.
It is wonderful.
So do you...
Is it clarity? You just get clarity, do you? Yeah, gotcha.
I can tell you what, that the freedom of knowing that no one knows where you are is so wonderful.
Swanee, do you need to let the family know or anybody know that in the next, say, week there could be a kidnap day? I might disappear for 24 hours, guys. I don't know when it'll be because you don't want to give away what you're doing, but just so they know you're okay. Do you go, well, in the next 14 days even,
Listen,
I might disappear for one?
I have added to our calendar a mysterious entry that says, do not contact Chrissy on this day.
Not disturb.
Yeah.
Well,
Swanee.
how do you feel about it? Because you go missing 3 hours a day from
What do you
6 to 9 most
'Cause I'm
mornings.
right
So how
here.
do you get clarity at all at the end of the shift?
I would love the disappearing day. And you would be panicking, Fitz. You'd be ringing me non-stop. Where are you, buddy? You'd be sending me funny memes and stuff going, "Come on, just let me know you're okay. I'm worried sick about
and
you."
you're just sitting there under your desk,
under your
wrapped
desk,
in a blanket going...
Just giggling to myself like a naughty little school kid.
That's
everyone's panicking, your family. Where could he be? Think about it. And then we arrive at Red Rooster. There he is.
Oh, yes.
He's under the desk.
Yes.
And he couldn't be happier, mind
Half
you, Ryan
chicken and
James.
chips, greasy fingers, the works, the moist towelette working overtime.
Yeah, you'll find me licking my lips.
Got him.
Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.